Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Shanmugam IAS Academy. And this is the editorial analysis of 25th of October 2021. And today we are going to see, and we have a very important topic which is going very important in these days. And why are hydro power projects in Himalayas are risky? And this editorial has been in Hindu newspaper, and this will be connected to you in the mains and the prelims portion. In the mains it will be in the GS3 environment and ecology, and in prelims point of view also you have so many points to be noted down here. And I have edited, like I have taken the data from all through the newspapers, and I have merged other relevant data for you, and if you want to note down you can note it down. This can be a very useful information for you in the upcoming examinations in the prelims and the mains. And here now we'll go into the topic, why are hydropower projects in the Himalayas are risky. First we need to know why this is in the news, and if it is in the news means there is something behind it. It is in the news means why it is in the news. First, the context over here is the Environment Ministry in an affidavit it placed in the Supreme Court earlier this month has disclosed that it has permitted 7 hydroelectrical power projects which are reportedly in the advanced stage of construction to go ahead. And this is the context. Because of this was in the news last week, and this week also it's continuing, and this has become very important. And first we need to know what is this, why it is in the news, because we have to see the history of this, the history of the hydropower projects in the Himalayas. Here we know that in the 2013 Kedarnath floods that killed so many people over there, and it has vanished most of the parts of Uttarakhand. And then after that the government has appointed a 17-member expert committee, and these committee names are very important. If you quote these things in the exam, this can fetch you good amount of marks to you, like. And here the main thing to examine the role of over 24 proposed hydroelectric projects in the Alkananda and Bhagirathi basins. You have to be very careful, this Alkananda and Bhagirathi, and you have to know, because in prelims point of view they can ask you from which glacier this Alkananda is originating, from where it is originating, and you note it down here. I have not given, but I am telling you the Alkananda is originating from the Satopant glacier. On this, the questions like this, from where the Alkananda has been starting. And after that, the Chopra committee, that is the Ravi Chopra committee, concluded that the 23 projects would have an irreversible impact on the ecology of the region. And Supreme Court directed a new committee after that, and that is by Vinod Thare. And he is an Indian Institute of Technology Kanpur professor, and he concluded that these projects could have a significant environmental impact. And why this is in the news? Recently, it is not in connection with that, but recently in February we have floods in Uttarakhand which was washed away at least 2 hydroelectric power projects, that is 13.2 Rishi Ganga hydroelectric power project and the Tapovan project on the Dhauli Ganga river, a tributary of the Alkananda. Here in this thing you have so many prelims based questions. Dhauli Ganga river, what is Rishi Ganga river? This I will tell you, this I am coming in the later part, I will be explaining you what is this. First, we need to know what is Rishi Ganga and what is Dhauli Ganga. Rishi Ganga is the river that occurred. Rishi Ganga is due to, why this happened, this flood has happened because the Rishi Ganga glacier, due to some of the other glacier, the glacier name is the Nanda Devi glacier. The Nanda Devi glacier is fallen into the Rishi Ganga, and the volume of the water has been increased there. And you can ask me, it has fallen in the Rishi Ganga river, and why we have impact in the Dhauli Ganga river? Because this Rishi Ganga river meets Dhauli Ganga near Raini. So this river, which is carrying the glacier, the broken part of the glacier in the Rishi Ganga river, it is flowing and it is connecting Dhauli Ganga at the Raini. That is why we have also a flood in the Dhauli Ganga river. And some of the history of the hydroelectric projects I have told you, and this is the reason why it is in the news. because in February this happened. Because of this, the Rishiganga's glacier, the river, which is over flooded and it connected to the Dauliganga. So because of this, Tapovan project, which is on the Dauliganga river, and here because of this the flooding thing, the power project at the Tapovan project, Dauliganga river, which has been flooded and it has been damaged. And what is the reason for this? Why these glaciers have been melting? Why it is falling into these rivers? Why is that happening? The main thing is this is breaking the Rauthi glacier on Nanda Devi and other glacier, the Rauthi glacier. You note it down, Rauthi glacier, which is important here. Rauthi glacier that triggered the floods in the Rishiganga river. And climate change in particular, the rise in the temperature and change in the precipitation pattern has an adverse effect on glaciers, leading to change in the glacier boundaries. Climatic changes, erratic weather patterns like increased snowfall and rainfall, it has happened, and the glacier retreat and the permafrost, a project to decrease the stability of the mountain slopes and increase the number and area of glacier. And you can ask me what is glacier retreat and permafrost thaw. The glacier retreat here, when that is the glacier retreat, when it is melts or ablates more quickly than the snowfall, can accumulate and form a new glacier ice river. This is happened because of the glacier retreat and permafrost thaw. First we have, before going into permafrost thaw, we will know first what is permafrost. Permafrost is a permanently frozen layer on under the earth surface, and permafrost usually remains at 0 degree, below 0 degree Celsius at least for 2 years. If it is staying below 0 degree Celsius at least for 2 years, it can form into a permafrost. And here tricky question, it can be asked, permafrost can be found on land and below the ocean floor. Many of the people will be confused that the permafrost will be forming only above the land. No, it's not the case. It forming below the earth surface also, that is on the ocean floor. Below the ocean floor also the permafrost can happen. And why it is having permafrost thaw means ice inside the permafrost melts and leaving behind water and soil. The permafrost, I have told you, it is a iceberg, and when it melts, it leaves behind the water and soil and melts, and glacier retreated permafrost are protected to decrease the stability of the mountains slopes and increase the number and area of glacier lakes. And some of the expert committees told here recommended that there should be no hydropower development beyond an elevation of 2200 meter in the Himalayan region. And these committees have recommended because the Himalayan regions are being very tectonically stable. And we all know that the Himalayan rivers are very tectonically unstable, it is very unstable. And there is another concept also, that if this point is very important, the equilibrium line altitude, the boundary between the accumulation area. What is equilibrium line altitude? That is the boundary between the accumulation area, that is where glacier mass is added, and ablation, where glacier mass is lost. And this indicates this acts as a climate change indicator. What it is, that is equilibrium line altitude, and this has been one of the indicators of the climate change. And I have been telling you again, this is the boundary between the accumulation area where glacier mass is added and the ablation where the glacier mass is lost, and this is called as equilibrium line altitude. And Himalayan, why is that? Himalayan acts as the young mountains and tectonical activities keep happening internally, that along with this climate would have led to the Chamoli floods. And this is the place where this Dauliganga river has flooded. The place is called as Chamoli floods. The area name is Chamoli. And it is not given by me. It is being said by Dr. D.P. Dhopal, who was a senior glaciologist from Wadia Institute of Himalayan Geology, who has studied the Himalayan glaciers, and he quoted that more with increased the cloudburst and intense spells of rainfall and avalanches, residents of the region were also placed increased risk of loss of lives and livelihood. And he told that those areas are very tectonically unstable, and joining to that, the climate changes will have very bad impact on the Himalayan region. And what are the importance of the Himalayas and threat and degradation? And what are the important? These I have given you in the main format, and you can write the exam. If the question is asked like this, you have to frame. If you frame like the answer like this, and you can fetch good marks. And you have to go like this. The importance of Himalayas and threat of degradation. The Himalayan range is a transitional mountain. We all know that it's a transitional chain of mountain, and it is a chief driver of the Asian climate. It's a source of Asian river glaciers which are now under the threat of degradation and retreat due to global warming. These river systems provide water for billions of people. We all know this thing. And in this thing, I wanted to add two more points, which is the high seismic zones coincide with the areas of high population concentration in the Himalayan region where landslides and glaciers lake outburst floods are common. That is, the point is there, and many of the great earthquakes of the 20th century occurred in the Himalayan region. We know that the tectonically very stable thing is the Himalayan region, and we have seen so many earthquakes in the 20th century in the Himalayan region. And in a recent article, this you can quote in your exam. In a recent article, the Maharaja K. Pandit, a Himalayan ecologist, says the recent years Himalayas has seen highest rate of deforestation and land use changes. So he said that he's a very famous Himalayan ecologist, K. Pandit, Maharaj K. Pandit. He says Himalayas have seen the highest rate of deforestation and land use changes. Because land use changes, we all know that many of hydroelectric power projects have been happening over there, and this is what he said, that the land use changes and deforestation is happening in the Himalayan region. And what are the challenges we have in this project? What are the main challenges such projects face? I have told you, the Raunti glacier which triggered floods in the Rishiganga river in Uttarakhand and which washed away at least two hydroelectric power projects. And two hydroelectric power projects I have told you earlier, that is Tapovan hydroelectric power project, and I have told you what is the equilibrium line of altitude, and I have also told you the importance of Himalayas and some of the challenges, that is depending upon the snow accumulation and the evaporation, the melt that occurs. Retreat refers only. I have told you what is glacial retreat and permafrost. I have told you what is permafrost, then I have told you what is permafrost. So you can quote it in your points, and if you want to note down, you can note it down, because some of the points I am telling you which are not there, and if you want to note it down, you can note it down. And some of the expert committees, they have told that we shouldn't, like, there should be no hydropower development beyond an elevation of 2200 meter in the Himalayan region, because there is a more of risk increased of loss of lives and the livelihood, because the Himalayan region, so many populations are living over there. So they told that, so this has to be beyond, there should not be hydroelectric power projects beyond 2200 meters. And here I will explain you about some of this. This is very important as you consider for the prelims, Dhauli Ganga. First, because this year we will be expecting the questions on Dhauli Ganga river, because in February this thing has happened. So we were expecting in 2021 prelims some of the questions will be asked over there, but this time they didn't ask. But next time in 2022, who are appearing for the exam, so they can have this topic is very important. What is very important in this thing is that is Dhauli Ganga, which originates in the Vasundhara Thala, and they can ask you from where Dhauli Ganga will originates, and it originates from Vasundhara Thal, the largest glacial lake in the Uttarakhand. And we can know that what is Dhauli Ganga and where it is. Like, Dhauli Ganga is one of the important tributaries of Alkananda, the other being the Nandakini, Pindar, Mandakini and Bhagirathi. And these are the tributaries of Alkananda, and Dhauli Ganga is the important tributary of Alkananda. And Dhauli Ganga is joined by Rishi Ganga river at Raini. I have told you, the glacier, one of the part of the glacier of Rauti glacier is fallen into Rishi Ganga river, and this Rishi Ganga river flows and it joins Dhauli Ganga at Raini. So the Tapoa project is on the Dhauli Ganga river. So the Rishi Ganga river which joins the Dhauli Ganga at the Raini, so because of these flash floods that happened in the Tapoa hydroelectric power project, so it has been damaged, and it is, I will tell you, it is 512 megawatts hydropower electric project, and it merges with the Alkananda at Vishnuprayag. This this is very important. This is Dhauli Ganga merges Alkananda at which point? They can ask you like that. At Vishnu Prayag. And in the later stage, I am explaining with the diagram here. This is very important in exam, mostly important for prelims and also for the mains. There it loses its identity and Alkananda flows southwest through Chamoli, Maithana, Nanda Prayag and Karan Prayag and north at Rudra Prayag. So what I am saying here with this diagram, it will be very clear for you to understand. And this the blue line which is known as the Alkananda. Okay, this is the major river and these are the tributaries of this river. The Dhauli Ganga river here, this joins Alkananda at the Vishnu Prayag. And secondly, we have this Alkananda joins the Nandakini river which is at the Nand Prayag. These points are very important in prelims point of view. I have already told you this year UPS is very intelligent in framing questions. We all know that they skip this thing, but next year we can expect questions from this. Alkananda joining Nandakini river at Nand Prayag and Dhauli Ganga joining Alkananda river at Vishnu Prayag and Alkananda which is joining the Pindar Ganga which is at Karan Prayag and this another Alkananda which is joining the Mandakini river at Rudra Prayag. And Bhagirathi, the Bhagirathi joins at Alkananda near Dev Prayag. So they can ask you where the Bhagirathi joins the Alkananda, the point is named as, the point is called as, that is Dev Prayag. So you have many confusions of this. So if you this diagram will clearly explain you the Alkananda and the tributaries and where this tributaries the joining point and what are the names of those points. So I have told you again, I am telling you this is a very important part because the floods has happened in Uttarakhand in February 2021. And I will tell you history of this. Actually, the challenges, how can the conflicts are also here, whereas multifaceted. Actually, UK government, that is UK means not United Kingdom, the Uttarakhand government has said that it is paying over 1000 crore annually to purchase the electricity. So they are paying more than 1000 crore to purchase the electricity so that hydropower projects have been established for the usefulness of the state. Here the state itself on a massive environmental risk without being adequately compensated for its unique challenges accounts for. And several environmentalist activists says that the center has frequently changed its position and will continue to prioritize infrastructural development in the region even it comes at a heavy environmental cost. This you have to be very careful here. The point which I have quoted is very important. Several environmental activists have said that is the government frequently changes the position and will continue to prioritize the infrastructural development in the region even it comes at a heavy environmental cost. Both the government, the central government and also the state government. So first we have to consider the ecology of the Himalayan region because the lives of the people are very important for us. So the center has to speculate and it has to see this region's hydropower projects at, very important for UK people and also to the country of the country of India. Like infrastructure development region are very risky in this Himalayan region. So what are the points we have to be noted down here? The Dhauli Ganga river and which glacier for which because of which glacier these floods had happened and this glacier has fallen into which river and that river which connects Dhauli Ganga at Raini and the Tapova, the power project is mainly on the built on the Dhauli Ganga river, so it has been damaged for that. And what are the other things I have told you? I have told you we have to be very noteworthy, like we have to be very careful and very important where this Dhauli Ganga is. Dhauli Ganga is the tributaries of Alkananda. They have majorly 5 tributaries and the joining points of the tributaries with the Alkananda is very important. The naming is very important in the prelims points of view. Thank you students, and if you have any queries please tell us in the comment section. We'll try to improve from our side. And thank you so much for following the Shanmugam IAS Academy YouTube channel, and please do subscribe for our channel. Thank you so much.